All right, here at Rico's apartment building. He texted me and said that he needed help making a video and that it was going to be different from his other videos. I don't really know what that means, but I guess we're going to go and check this out. Hey, so what's up?
Come on in, come on in. Oh, gosh. Well, how are you?
I've been pretty good.
Good.
It sounds like you haven't been quite the same.
No, I've been, well, I can sit up and sit back down. I've been going through, a lot, just listening to the last album I listened to. Okay. So, have you heard of the band, the 1975?
Not really.
Okay, so, yeah, I mean, your music and my music, like, we align sometimes, but this one is one that I was like, maybe he's heard of it, maybe not, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
So, they're, yeah, 4th album, just listen to it. It's a band that a lot of people that I am familiar with, and a lot of other people that I know who, they have a large following, basically, is the idea. And it's, so far I've heard on the internet, it's kind of divided. And I wanted to find out for myself why that was. So I gave it a listen. And I was listening to it mostly on the gym. The first time, the other day, I was just doing some exercises. And I just remember being confused and a little angry, and I decided I need to give it that second listen that I give all my other albums. Sorry, I'm trying to pull something up real quick. And yeah, I need to move around a little bit still. I should have done this beforehand. 1975.
Well, I did get here early, so there's that.
Yeah. What is this thing called? Notes on a Conditional Form, the 4th album. Wow. Yeah, I'm just sitting here, just trying to get the idea up in my brain. It's just basically the idea is I'm let down. That's the whole idea behind why I called you over here. And I can't review this album the way I normally would. I just, because it's divided, like, not just among the people, but in me. Like, I'm just like, half of it likes it and half it doesn't. That probably looks really weird, but like, I wanted to love this album. I wanted to love it. Love it! I can't. There are so many aspects of this that should be fabulous, like, no question whatsoever. This album should have all the possibilities, capabilities to make everyone love it. I think the reasons I don't dislike it, I just don't like it. So I hope I can kind of make that distinction. That makes sense, right?
It's good, but it's not what everything you wanted it to be.
Yeah, and I'm trying to make sure, like, that's something that I can make understandable. Like, it's not just my opinion, you know? It's not just... I mean, ideally, as an individual fan, I'm not a hardcore fan of this band, but from what I have listened from them, I would have thought that I would have been somewhat of a fan to a degree. I'm a casual fan, I guess, is something you can call it that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, people are casual fans of lots of music or movies and things like that. Okay.
Yeah, I'm like that with plenty of stuff. So.
Yeah. Okay, so we just needed this up. This is the album. This right here. This is what people were waiting for, and people were waiting for a long time. Apparently, this album was like delayed a lot too. And so, I don't know if that's causing any of the potential uproar, but I know a lot of people are having just some kind of iffy moments about that. So, yeah, we got that mixed in with everything. Where do I go from here? I don't even know.
Just can you know exactly what the problem was? Just like a decrease in quality, or
So see, here's the thing. If this were a purely instrumental album, I'd say it's almost a perfect album. I think there are very few production problems that I had with it. They had a couple of creative choices that I just only slightly disagreed with. But then we get into a lot of the topics of these songs. Am I spilling? I'm a mess right now, dude. Get that, put that there. Anyway, it's just you got things, some things that just don't mesh well. I'm gonna put this right off the bat. First song is atrocious. It's just a commentary from this socialite or person that's trying to just give a social message. It's trying to preach to us. I don't like that. As I say in all my reviews, if you're gonna give me something social or political, make it work with the music. Make the music the focus. That we didn't need that in the album. Okay, cut it out. And then the second song has nothing to do with the rest of the album. It's just a lot of hard rock noise. It doesn't mesh with everything, with anything. It doesn't mesh with the rest of the album whatsoever. It's just a messy kerfuffle that was. It's puke compared to the rest of the album. So
nothing made sense.
For these first two songs, we're just talking about the first two songs. And this is an album that's 22 freaking songs. I don't mind an album that's long. It's just the fact that it's happening so often and that we're just being dealt with this from people who I don't think have earned their status of making a large album. And the 1975 should be a band that could have potentially reached that category, but when you release something like this, it doesn't feel merited. It feels awkward. But like I said before, I think that the production, the arrangements of the majority of this album are great. I think I've listened to this very thoroughly, but topic-wise for this album and lyrically, I am frustrated. I am very let down. Vocally, I will say, I have to distinct vocals and lyrics very different. Vocally, for majority of this album, not purely, but a big strong majority, sounds pretty good. I think that they worked that out really well with a couple of small features here and there. I just want to cook or something. You hungry?
I haven't had dinner yet. So.
We'll just make something. Maybe we'll get something. I don't know. But anyway, I gotta keep talking. Let's see. Okay.
Yeah, we can get something after this.
Yeah, I gotta grab a couple of chewies real quick. I'm just gonna keep getting messy with all the food around here, right? Anyway,
yeah, pretty much. If you try to cook something, it might be a disaster right now. I don't know.
So yeah, I've got my notes. I can finish it all, but I was just like, I can't review this the traditional way, so that's why I invited you over. I just get it off my chest. Okay, yeah, this I want to say naturally, but I gotta rely on notes that I wrote down here. So, growing up in high school or just as a teenager, you and I aren't too far off in our ages. And I just felt like this should apply to our memory lane, per se, about how we felt back then and kind of how we're feeling now in our 20s adolescent, whatever stage this is you want to call it, it should work out perfectly for it. The problem with it is that it feels like it's just a conversation, which is fine. But here's the thing: if you are, it feels like, I think everybody has one of these. You have one or two friends who, in a social setting, you're maybe a little, I love you, dude, I love you, gal, whatever, but I have to pick my battles in when and where we are going to go hang out sometimes. And this feels like he's talking to a friend. The band in general is talking to a friend who they love, they care about dearly, but they have maybe just a couple of like personal issues, but these are more like issues that are self-inflicted rather than we can just pin the world or society having dealt upon them. And maybe people perceive it that way, but it can't be actually dealt that way. That makes sense? Like you just like, you want to help this person, but you can't help them until they choose to help themselves.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. I've known people who are like that.
Yeah. So there's a little bit of that. So, and then that has all the potential to have some great topics in your music. Strong stuff like that can get you and can create great lyrics. The thing is, it feels like a conversation that was just put into a music machine and then spouted out and said, hey, we made it rhyme. These are now lyrics. It doesn't feel like it was really made to be a song. It feels like a conversation that was supposed to be a private conversation and is one that maybe you wouldn't have with some people that have either your parents or other people that you would respect with some decency and stuff like that.
Yeah, so like somebody's talking as a group and they're like, oh, hey, I remember all this. Let's just make this into a song.
Yeah, but that, yeah,
for no reason.
Yeah, I mean, like, it can still work. That can all still work. But it doesn't feel like it was crafted to actually be music. It feels like it was just stuff that happens to be put in music. And that's part of the issue that I have. I don't know if chewing like this looks weird while doing this, but no, okay. Yeah, I have to get it out like this.
Yeah.
What else do I have a problem with? Okay, I'll sidetrack real quick. Good things. Like I said, 22 tracks. I've got 4 songs. Just 4 that I can actually recommend. And here they are. Frail State of Mind. That works out well. Then Because She Goes. Bagsy Not in Net. And Guys. Now, these all have very different kind of approaches, but for the most part, except for those first 2 songs, it flows pretty well overall. It's very mellow. Not necessarily melodramatic, although you could argue that for certain approaches, but yeah, very mellow. I really love the last song, Guys. It makes me have at least some ending hope. I was really happy about that. So, and it's kind of a bromance song, which we don't really get those anymore. So
really?
I was like, yeah, I was happy about that. I'm like, hey, this works out well. We go down memory lane. We got to find a way to have a normal way to have bromance, right? Yeah.
Yeah, just the simple, I love you, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. The Bagsy Not All Net, emotional longing for finality. It's like one of those things where like you're not going to get closure. The song makes you want to go and find closure yourself, which some people probably would be turned off by, but done right with the right musicality, that works out. I can totally buy into that, because if you are not sunk or you don't buy into the emotion that the music is making you do, then it's not actually affecting you very much in very strong ways. I'm gonna go shut it down a little more. I don't need the rest of this. Let's go down. Oh boy. Okay. What else we got? Okay. What we got? Oh, the other 2 songs that I liked. Then Because She Goes, it's like a teenage beachside vibe, which I just need, especially right now, since we're approaching summer, and a lot of us are...
The weather's just been so weird.
Yeah, weather's been weird here, and we just are in need of longing of being outside, for heaven's sakes, good grief. Frail State of Mind, I call it complex relaxation. That doesn't make sense, but that is exactly...
That's interesting.
Yeah, complex relaxation. I like that. So these are the things that are giving me hope, and those are the things that I'm putting into my 2020 playlist. I'm really happy about that. Now here's one other thing. There's a couple instrumental tracks on here, which I would love for a lot of other people to do, but they don't feel like they have a purpose. They're orchestrated really well, but they don't feel like they have purpose, especially kind of the way that they're placed. You know how a song sometimes ends, and then another song, you feel like it just naturally goes in, even if the two don't have anything to do with each other?
Yeah, like if they still thought out the order.
Yeah, it's just like, it should just flow well, even if the songs are like, you're having a ballad one moment, and then you're going to have a danceable pop tune or something like that. I don't know. These just don't flow well. One of them I thought was going to be great, and then the production just kind of drops midway through the song, kind of near the end. But yeah, it just feels like they were meant to be filler, and I think a lot of other people have mentioned that before. These just instrumental orchestra tracks, like they're actually strings. I'm like, where did this come from? Like, isn't this like a pop rock kind of thing? Like, it's very synth heavy also. Like, it just doesn't make sense. They don't sound bad. They just don't feel like they fit. It's puzzle pieces from some other puzzle that were just put in here saying like, hey, look, creative, right? No.
Yeah, they just don't belong like in the album at all, or would you have just moved them to...
I wouldn't have them in there. I wouldn't have them in there at all. Like, it takes down at least 3 tracks down, so we don't need them. They don't, again, there's nothing wrong with them. They just don't belong here whatsoever, just as much as the first and second song in here. Okay, what else? What else do I want to mope about? Doesn't... Or like, most of the songs in here, they don't feel like they are meant to create any resolution whatsoever. You know how like I said, I'm okay with some ambiguity, and I'm okay with music making you feel like you now feel inspired to go and do something about it because it connected with you. A lot of the songs in here feel like there isn't an expected idea or intention to try and get you to do that. And it feels like, but the songs do feel like they have a purpose in leading you that direction, but then you're just gonna stay lost. So this is one of the most divided albums I've ever listened to. This is beautiful. The instrumentation is marvelous. I love it. But I can't get behind it. It's such a missed opportunity, and I don't know what everybody else thinks. I might be in a very niche minority here. It's just weird. I can't take it. I want to revisit it, but I wish they would, if they release an instrumental version of this album, I will love that. But I am perplexed and lost and left abandoned in a way that they would just kind of do this. And this is just me. I don't know what to really reply to that. And I know a lot of other people are going to have different things that they will say about it. There's so much I want to buy into this album. Do you know how bad that is? That you want to like something, but you don't? I need to go get some ice cream or something in order to make me feel like I have some new resolution in my life that's like, okay, I can feel better about this now. I don't know.
We're about out of space on here, so we can go do that.
Yeah, I suppose so. Well, since I guess you're recording, I guess I'll just lay out my last few notes. I'll say it in front of the screen here. you guys partway thank you for having a style that I like, but I cannot get behind lyrical content. There's so much that I just can't get behind. But anyway, let's see. Production, 96%. Creativity, 58%. Expression and lyrics, 64%. And I'm going to give this album an okay. I can't give it a no because there's so much of it that I do like, but I can't like the rest of it. Yeah, so there we are. Thanks for enduring that with me, guys. This is my buddy Tanner, and he helped record this. I needed to just present a different kind of reaction. So that's what you get today. So, Tanner, thank you for doing that with me today.
You're welcome.
I feel better. Let me know what you guys think about the album below. I'm curious. I have a weird feeling and opinion about this. I know not a lot of people are going to agree with it. That's okay. That's fine. So do that. And remember, if you want to discover, promote, and review the best in entertainment, like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff down below. Get that list. Yes, in your life. I'm stumbling through my words. Whatever. See you next time.
You should just subscribe.